This is Small Studio Signal Boost from WFYI. I'm Melissa Davis, your host tonight, along with co-host Adam Gross. Tonight, Adam has a conversation with Derek Borndren, the founder of Indianapolis-based Post Festival. We'll hear about the origins of the festival and music from some of the local bands playing this year. Indianapolis-based pop indie rock band Everything Now's small studio session debuts on air tonight. The band has been playing music in central Indiana for more than 2 decades, and now they're playing our small studio sessions. Listen in for an excerpt of the session and conversation with the band from WFYI's Kyle Long. Stay with us for an hour of new music from Indiana-based artists here on Small Studio Signal Boost. First, let's listen to a song from Indianapolis-based experimental hip-hop supergroup Bless. The band's second album is out now on indie-based Joyful Noise Recordings, and we have, I guess I'd call it a deep cut from the album. Let's listen to Juno from Bless on Small Studio Signal Boost. That was Bless with Juno from their new album, Bad Dogs. The band is heading out on a cross-country tour. You can find out where they're playing next at their website. And this is a little different than what it sounds, so we pronounce the band's name as Bless, but their website is 81355ing.com. You're tuned to Small Studio Signal Boost from WFYI. I'm Melissa Davis with Adam Gross. Coming up, we'll hear our latest small studio session from indie-based Everything Now. But first, Adam, what's happening in the world of Indiana music this week?
I've got a new song from Indianapolis-based band Vega. This is the track Cassette, and they released it on, guess what?
What could it be?
A cassette. I love it.
Yay.
A song named Cassette, released on a cassette. This is a really good one. It's Vega with Cassette here on Small Studio Signal Boost. That was Vega with Cassette on Small Studio Signal Boost. I'm Adam Gross with Melissa Davis. Up next, I have the new single from Bloomington artist Daguerreotype. This is Garden Dance.
I'm using words in strange and unfamiliar ways. I swore I'd change, managed to climb by twilight. Damage control works just fine. Talk of bygone days and fabled deeds by table wine.
You're tuned to Small Studio Signal Boost. You can find some of the music featured tonight by following our playlists. Just search for WFYI Music on Spotify. I'm Melissa Davis with Adam Gross. Our latest small studio session is from Indianapolis indie rock band Everything Now. So we are so proud to hear from Everything Now, a band that's been playing for nearly 2 decades. Adam, you recorded this session. How would you describe Everything Now's sound?
Oh, man. They're indie rock at the heart of it, but indie pop leaning a little towards the psychedelic side at times, the power pop side at times, diverse. They have a lot of melody going on. There's the vocal melodies, but also the keys, and then the guitar play like harmony contradicting at times, melodies that work really well. I love this band. Yeah. Also, full disclosure, I played on their last record.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I played saxophone on it.
Oh, cool.
But I don't have a stake in this band other than in my heart for listening to them.
Oh, that's so nice. And these are all super nice guys, folks that are working hard in the Indianapolis music scene. They've been playing shows like in the scene for a while now. So
yeah.
It's really exciting. And it's hard to do, I mean, playing music sounds so fun in theory, and it is, But
It's hard to keep going, especially
It
as
is.
you age and your band members age and finding the time. People have kids, people get real jobs, you know.
Yes, yes.
The first local Indianapolis show I went to was an Everything Now show when I was like 21 in college at Big Car Art Gallery. It was Everything Now in the Impossible Shapes, and it really blew my mind. So being able to record them here was really special for me.
So cool. Well, Kyle Long spoke with the members of Everything Now. Let's hear a bit of that interview now.
My name's Drew DuBois, keyboards.
My name's John Rogers. I play guitar and sing and write most of the songs.
My name is Alan Bannister. I play guitar.
My name is John Mile. I play bass and sing some of the backing vocals.
My name is Brian Unruh. I play drums.
It's my understanding that Everything Now has its origins in Muncie, Indiana, almost or over 20 years ago, right? You started out as the grand opening and then became Everything Now. Tell us a little bit about the roots of the band, how this all got started.
Sure, yeah. This is John, and I moved to Muncie in 2002, shortly after graduating high school, and just wanted to start making music with friends, and had a couple buddies that, really didn't play instruments, and we just started doing songs together as the grand opening. And then within a few months, we changed our name to Everything Now. Drew joined the band at that point on keyboards, and we've had a lot of lineup changes since then. But yeah, it was kind of just out of like being young and wanting to play music with friends. That's how it got started.
Anyone else want to make any observation on the origin of the band?
I'll just say that when the band formed, there was something really magical happening in Muncie in the music scene at that time. Alan and I were in a band called Ever Thus the Deadbeats, and we played a lot of shows with Everything Now, but it was a great community of artists.
It seems like Everything Now came to prominence at a time when there was a really rich, independent rock music scene in Indiana. You mentioned Ever Thus the Deadbeats. There was also Margot and the Nuclear So-and-Sos and Jukabox and so many bands. There were labels like Joyful Noise and Secretly Canadian and Standard getting started. Was this kind of a unique time for indie music in Indiana? Do you feel like you kind of were part of something that had some synergy and bonding with these other projects and groups?
Sure, yeah. I do think it felt like kind of a bit of a movement, I guess, at the time. And I think it kind of in an undercurrent that was against the more popular music, and the way that things were being like found and heard at the time was like, my favorite bands are my friends' bands, and we're going to play together all the time as much as we can, and then we're going to be in each other's bands. Like, I think that was a part of that mindset that did make that feel like a special time for bands. I think, like I'm sure most people can say this about music at this point, the internet changed a lot, and I think we were kind of just in that pocket of like everything was still happening in real life. You didn't have anything to do. You had to go see your friends and start playing music together. So.
You didn't have to be a social influencer to like do anything.
Anyone else want to comment on that? The scene at the time the band emerged, around 2005, 6, 7, those years. Any thoughts?
I mean, I think it was always important to just like whatever we wanted to do, just like do it yourself, like figure it out. And I think that kind of like ethos has informed us like as a band like the entire time. And something about that time, I don't know if it was early internet or whatever, it did seem like there was a lot of DIY, just really like have an idea, do it, make a tour happen, play somewhere else.
Make a giant paper mache octopus. Stuff like
Hand out 100 ceramic bells and have the audience play them, like just all kinds of like funky stuff.
Drew, you mentioned the DIY aspect of the times, and Everything Now has cultivated a very independent kind of legacy and spirit. And John, I wanted to ask you about a quote you gave to the Indianapolis Star in 2005.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
You said,
I don't remember it.
I'd rather hold the band together for a few years and make some decent underground records than to try to get rich and popular with the press, then ultimately burn out and die hard. Seems like you've remained very true to that vision. Yeah. How do you feel hearing that back now, 20 years later?
I agree with that. I think that's kind of still where I'm coming from with it. And, luckily it has stayed together. It's been something that we can keep doing. But, yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that there was that when I was younger, I had some of those goals of like, I want more people to hear the band, and we want to tour all over the place, and we want everyone to hear us. And I think like the older you get, the more it's like, it doesn't matter as much about being popular. It just matters about like, is it fulfilling? Are you getting something out of it? And are you like spending your time the way that you want to? So like, I mean, honestly, I still feel like that's pretty much true. Yeah.
And you're currently writing and preparing for a new album. Tell me about the future of Everything Now. Is this going to continue on for another 20 years?
Hey, that would be cool. Honestly, we would love that. I think we're in a better place now, mentally, spiritually, maybe not physically, but like, we're all getting older, but it really does feel good. And the new album's called Time Castle, or that's what we're calling it. A lot of these songs, I think, have kind of followed the Hideout Mountain pattern of I'll bring a song to the group and we work on it more as a group, and it feels more like everybody's contributing their own parts. And I think we've developed our voice a lot as a band to where it's okay to say like, hey, we still sound like Everything Now. I don't know what else we sound like sometimes, but that's, this one I feel like it definitely got that group effort vibe for me.
Thank you, Everything Now, for being here. Love what you're doing, and great set today.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Kyle, for that interview with Indianapolis band Everything Now. And keep an eye out for that full interview, which should be airing on Cultural Manifesto sometime in the near future. Now let's listen to Everything Now's small studio session just released this week.
Same war, and it started long before you were born, my child. It is a war against evil. It is a war against ourselves. It is a war that has no hopeful end in sight. Have always been this way, you know it's true, child, and no one knows just what it all is leading to. It is a world that is too fragile. It is a world without much hope. It is a world that's out there waiting just for you. Border of complete chaos. We are pursued by death and grace at the same time. It is a grace that can't be conquered. It is a grace that can't be held. It is a grace that someday must be yours and mine. Always been fighting the same war, and it started before anyone here was born, my child. It is a war against evil. It is a war against ourselves. It is a war that has no hopeful end in sight. No end in sight. No end in sight.
Thanks. Thanks, WFYI and Small Studio Sessions for having us. We're big WFYI supporters, and that song was called The Same War. It's off our most recent album, Hideout Mountain. And this next one's also on that album, and it's called Magic Mountain.
Just moved on from you. Somebody stole the name you used to use. You get upset, but there is nothing to do except keep on crying. Boo-hoo-hoo. These days it feels like we have turned a corner. It's like we're headed over some great ledge. Maybe it's just a part of getting older.
Thank you. My name's John, and I sing and play guitar. Over here on bass, we've got John Mile, or Muyel, as Mark McGrath calls him. He's a friend of ours, and he says his name different. Alan Bannister on guitar. We got drums back here on the drums. Just kidding. Brian Unruh on the drums, and Drew on the keyboards and auxiliary. We're going to play a couple of new ones now. This one's called Muncie Slums, and it's named after a town most of us used to live in, Muncie, Indiana. Shout out Muncie. And yeah, here we go.
get some inspiration. Write a couple songs and then go back on vacation. Sipping on the bones of the older generation. I could have been a star, but no, I never had the patience. Well, I could tell you all my reasons to live, and you can tell me that you don't give a place. Or I could grieve for all the time that I lost, or I could just be the boss. Oh, how the time goes. See how the time goes. Just watch how the time goes by. You were driving pizzas in the Muncie slums. You were on the road with the Dharma bums and all manner of religious ephemera to console you. All right, thanks. Wanted to say one more time, thanks to WFYI for having us and Small Studio Sessions. We love the series. We love public radio. Support public radio. They need it more now than ever, and we want to see WFYI thrive. So that's our message for the day. This is our last song. It's called White Skies at Dawn. It's another new one. We got a new album coming out hopefully later this year or next year, but we just figured we'd play some of this stuff while we've been working on it. Hope you like it. Thanks again for having us. White skies at dawn. Been staring at the sun for way too long. Wait for my true love. I will wait for my true love. Crash at the mines, but it ain't no problem of mine. While I wait for my true love, I will wait for my true love. If you don't know how to live, does someone have to show you how? If you don't know why to die, oh my. Crash at the night. Lock the door and turn out all the lights while you wait for your true love. Wait for your true love. Run out into the snow when you realize that you are not alone. Wait for my true love. I will wait for my true love. If you don't know
That was Everything Now, our latest small studio session. Thanks, Everything Now, for playing our small studio, and thanks, Adam, for recording the session.
As always, you are welcome.
You can find this session at wfyi.org/small studio, along with a video of the performance. And on our WFYI YouTube page, just search for WFYI Everything Now. Coming up, Adam has a conversation with the founder of Indianapolis-based Post Festival. We'll be right back with that after the break on Small Studio Signal Boost. This is Small Studio Signal Boost. Thanks for listening tonight. You can find the podcast edition of the show most places you get your podcasts or at our website, wfyi.org/podcasts. I'm Melissa Davis, joined by Adam Gross. Adam has a conversation with Derek Vordren, the founder of Indianapolis-based Post Festival.
Derek, thanks for coming back and joining us.
Yeah, thanks.
So you co-founded Post Festival, which has evolved into a 3-day event with multiple stages taking place this coming weekend at the Hi-Fi and Hi-Fi Annex. I remember going to, I think, the inaugural Post Festival in 2018.
Correct.
Which was then a 2-day event at the now closed Indiana City Brewing Company. Mm-hmm. It was a great night of music then, and even in the first year, I think it was pretty well attended for being a brand new festival. But you've definitely grown.
Yeah, no, definitely. 2018, I think we had maybe 150 tickets sold, and we had to just cover our expenses of $5,000, and what I wouldn't give to have a $5,000 budget now. That doesn't really exist anymore. That's maybe one band now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, from the expectations of just doing something cool, not expecting it to really kind of grow as it has, to now, like I said, we're now 3 days long, indoor-outdoor stage, tons of bands, got people from all over the world coming, so it's a really unusual feeling, but cool at the same time, I guess.
People from all over the world are flying to Indianapolis for this festival.
We got people from all the way from Australia to New Zealand, from Europe to Montana in the United States and stuff like that.
Wow.
So we are a pretty unique event, whereas, post-rock isn't known as a popular genre, let alone one that's even played on the radio. Mm-hmm. So I guess if you do something unique, or like I always say, if you do something cool, people will hopefully and usually come. So
post-rock, the festival is called Post Festival. It's centered around a genre, like you said, that is somewhat lesser known, at least in the popular realm, called post-rock. For people unfamiliar with post-rock, can you describe that style of music or give some examples that people might recognize?
Yeah, so think of post-rock in its most basic terms as instrumental music, and that can go from anywhere from ambient to heavy music, but mostly instrumentals. Now this is where you kind of get into the weeds and subgenres. There are bands that have vocals and such like that, but then we have really kind of branched out to be post-rock, but also very adjacent as well, because in America, unfortunately, there isn't that many, popular post-rock headliner bands that we can book. Post-rock is very big in Europe. My elevator pitch is the movie Friday Night Lights. If you've watched that movie, it's a football movie. I think Americans like football, so hopefully a lot of them have seen this movie. But the music that's in that movie is by a band called Explosions in the Sky, and they're one of the probably the biggest post-rock band in America. But all that music of feeling and emotions and kind of really building a scene and bringing you down, all that music was done by that band. And that's, I guess, the best way to really get into post-rock music. But there's all kinds of movies that use it for scores and things like that you may not even realize of bands that are, involved in these movies and stuff like that. But if you've seen that movie and if you like the music and you just thought it was some guy that just did it in his room, it's an actual real band, and that's a genre of music. So.
And you like post-rock.
Yeah.
Okay, so what can we expect this year from Post-Fest? We said 3 days. It's at the Hi-Fi, indoor and outdoor. What are your big bands?
We definitely try to keep at least a good proportion of the bands we book and kind of true to form post-rock. But we definitely got a little heavier this year, which I like. But so one big band that is coming to town, they haven't played here, I guess, in 20 years, is a band called Converge. They're very kind of well-known in the scene, hardcore, heavy, East Coast band. One of my personal favorites is going to be Emma Ruth Rundle. She's kind of on the other spectrum of that adjacent kind of post-rock where she's more almost a singer-songwriter, but has the sounds or the feel that you can really, it connects to a lot of the fans that who listen to post-rock would definitely connect with her. Obviously Pelican, who's one of our big bands that we like from Chicago. They're a little more on the heavier side. But our real big get that everyone's really more excited about is a band called We Lost the Sea. They're actually coming from all the way from Australia.
Oh, wow.
They are doing an album playthrough on Thursday. So kind of what the feel of what the fest is going to look like. So on Thursday is really kind of our album playthrough day. So every band that's playing on Thursday is playing one of their albums from start to finish.
Oh, awesome.
So we're just trying to make Thursday a unique day. We get into Friday, which is we are considering our kind of more heavier day, where the Converges and Bong Rippers, Primitive Man, Respire. There's all kinds of different flavors where it dips into the hardcore to metal and all kinds all over the place. Doom, whatever whatever you want to describe it. And then Saturday is more of our tried and true, probably I would say considered post rock for the real purist of the genre. But we have, like I said, our weekend passes are sold out, so it seems like everyone's pretty happy with what we've kind of planned out, and we just hope for the best, and that's what we try to do with kind of mixing and matching this genre of music with other adjacent stuff. So,
yeah. Well, I think you've done a great job booking it so far. It sounds like. So we have people flying in from Australia, bands flying in from Australia, bands coming from all over the country, but you're doing your due diligence, still incorporating some local acts, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do too. You brought a couple tracks from some local bands playing?
Yeah. So the two that we have this year are two really great ones. One is Driving at Night. They just released a new album. And then also Isolation Drills. They also just released a new album. Both those bands will be playing on Thursday, doing their full album playthrough as well. I would say come, but we're sold out as of right now for Thursday. So if you're just now listening to this, at least check them out. Hopefully you like the tracks that Adam will be playing for you guys. But those are two really great bands here in Indy that we've worked with for a while.
Well, let's listen to one of those now. Let's do Isolation Drills. April is the track, right?
Yes.
All right. That was Isolation Drills with April. You're tuned to Small Studio Signal Boost. I'm Adam Gross, and I'm talking with Derek Vorndring, co-founder of Post Festival, taking place in Indianapolis next weekend at the Hi-Fi and Hi-Fi Annex. We're listening to two local bands playing the festival, both on Thursday. Thursday is currently sold out, but if you have your tickets already, this is a nice preview for you of two great local bands you can see. Up next, we're going to hear one from the other local band playing Driving at Night. Derek, what's this track?
Hope We Hold. Hope you enjoy it.
That was Indianapolis-based Driving at Night with the track Hope We Hold. They're playing this year's Post Festival. I'm here with Derek Vorndring, co-founder of Post Fest. Derek, can you give us the details again for this year's festival?
Yeah, so Post Festival will be this upcoming weekend at the Hi-Fi and Hi-Fi Annex in Fountain Square. We are currently pretty much all sold out. We do have some tickets still available on Saturday, so if you liked what you heard and want to check out what we're doing, you can get more information from us at thepostfestival.com. We hope to see you guys here soon and enjoy the music.
And since tickets are going to be hard to come by for this year, where can people keep up with you to maybe see what's going on next year?
We're on Instagram and Facebook at the Post Festival. Should be pretty easy to find us. Outside of that, we don't need to click submit on anything else. So
I love that. Thanks again, Derek.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Derek and Adam, for that interview and music. That's the latest in Indiana music. Be sure to follow your favorite artists on social media for updates and info. This is Small Studio Signal Boost. Adam Gross and Roxana Caldwell created our show. This episode was produced by Adam Gross and me, Melissa Davis. You can check out the podcast edition of the show most places you get your podcasts or at WFYI.org. Thanks for listening tonight, and thanks for your continued support of public media. And you can join in membership anytime at wfyi.org/give or at wbaa.org/give. And we are at our last song of the night. Adam, what do you have?
This is Goshen's Jagalchi with the track Twisting Strands from their new album You Will Know True Loss. Have a great night.